Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Encrypted Connections. I am your host, Kyle, and my head is down because I am putting the link to this show in the chat as we speak. Open discussion, open mic night tonight. I was trying to edit the video from the trip up to the corner still, and it's taking longer than I thought, so I just didn't have enough time to really get anything together for tonight. I figured, we could just chit-chat about whatever you guys would like to chit-chat about. I was going to talk a little bit about that trip, and then tell you where I'm going tomorrow with our good friends, Brian and Chewy. We're going to go out for a daytime investigation tomorrow, and I'm very hopeful for what's going on, but anyway, welcome. Happy Wednesday. I hope you all had a wonderful hump day. I hope your week is off to a good start. Hope everyone's happy, healthy, and content. Let me bring on my wonderful co-host. You guys know him as the Deuster. I know him as Dale Earnhardt. Welcome to the show, sir. How are you?
Glad to be here, sir.
No, glad to have you,
Glad
sir.
to be here.
Oh, well, okay, sir. So Dewey's made me jealous because Dewey got a couple things. We got one thing in the mail, and then he went and bought himself something and made himself something really, really cool. So what did you get in the mail the other day, there, fella?
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, I got an AGM 15384 thermal. And I've been building the case for it all day long, just about getting it in the case. I'm kind of making this I guess you'd call it the night investigation case. It's one of those Apache 4800 cases in a totally different color than the rest of them. This is a bright yellow. And I've got I put the thermal in it, all the attachments for it, the night vision scope. I've got it in there. I've got my 300,000 lumen flashlight in there with it.
Okay.
And my red flashlights, and also I've got about 3 or 4 of those UV flashlights in there with it. So that'll be more or less, if I go out at nighttime, that'll be one of the main ones I'll pack with me. But
I need to get that. I need to get the UV
flashlight.
Flashlight
Yet, but I'm looking forward to trying it out.
Well, I'll tell you what. I used that same one this weekend, and it's a hell of a tool.
Yeah, I've been reading instructions on it, kind of studying up on it, but haven't had a chance to use it yet. But we had some real bad weather Saturday night. In fact, we had tornadoes in Springfield. We lost the biggest part of the Kroger store. There were several buildings completely demolished. And it was kind of crazy. I had planned Saturday afternoon to go to Home and Jewelers here in Springfield and get my wife's Christmas present. We had our Sons of Confederate Veterans meeting Saturday morning. I didn't get out of there till about 2:00, and then the tornado alarm started going off, and I thought, I need to run there and get this real quick before the weather turns off bad. So I got halfway home. I thought, I'm going to go into the house in case it does, get bad. So I got to the house, and then I find out the place I was going to was completely demolished. I mean, the building is just knocked down. So if I hadn't turned around and come back to the house, I would have been right in the middle of it.
Let's see that, man.
So I guess that's fate, I guess you'd call it.
Golly, that's something. Well, I'm glad you're friggin' safe, dude.
Like I said, it was an F2. All 3 of my daughters had real close encounters with this. My daughter Tracy lives in Clarksville, and they got all kind of damage in Clarksville. I mean, it tore up Jack around there. And one of the neighbors filmed the tornado from the edge of my daughter's yard, and it was about maybe 3/4 of a mile away, and it just so happened to turn and go the other direction or moved off. And but they spent all that time in the basement. My other daughter, she lives in Dixon, and it come right downtown Dixon, right where they're close to where they live. So they kind of spent the time in the basement. And then my youngest daughter, Nikki, she works at Walmart in Springfield. And there's a video on YouTube that shows the tornado going right in front of Walmart. They had all them sheltered down in the back of the store. So all three of them had real close encounters with this tornado. So it's
well, I'm glad everyone's safe, man. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I remember we were out there, and I forget, someone sent me a message and said, "Did you hear what happened down in the Tennessee area?" And I'm like, "Well, no. What are you talking about?" They said, "Yeah, there was like 7 tornadoes." I was like, "What? 7 tornadoes? That sounds crazy." But yeah, apparently it was true and it was bad, and that sucks, man. That's just terrible. Those things are scary as hell.
Oh yeah, they are.
You sent me that picture, and I was like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, it was looking pretty bad. The picture I sent you is when it was directly over the I think the Hill and Cotton warehouse, and it leveled it to the ground. I mean, it completely demolished the whole big building.
And that's an F2.
Rovers got the front knocked off of it, and there were several, like a little strip mall there, and it demolished it completely. Then across the road was a dental office and the jewelry store that I used to shop at. It's completely demolished. And they say it may be a year better before they even open back up. So,
oh, that jewelry store, is that when you used to wear those big gold chains?
yeah, exactly. Yeah, the big gold chains and all the big rings on my fingers. You know.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, I had to pawn them to buy that AGM thermal.
Oh God, sounds about right. Anyway, let me say hello to some people in this chat. Hello, people. All right, that's good enough. No, I'm just kidding. Welcome everybody. Hello, Sharon, E-Rev. What's up, dude? No, you're not blue. Son of a gun. I didn't do it for him either, Dewey. See?
What?
Okay, so they changed this like moderator thing. You used to be able to just click on someone's picture in the chat, and then it would pop up. You used to be able to like right click it or something. It would pop up and it would give you the option to turn them into a moderator. Now I can't do that. Who here? I always refer to Hope because she's usually the one who knows. She's asking me to pin a comment, pin the thing. I don't know how to pin that either. So we're just a bunch of amateurs here. How do I pin the link? Number one, Hope. And then how do I make these people moderators? Because they change this on me. They changed this. Dewey wants to post stuff up here. He's the co-host of the show, and somehow he can't post anything because I can't figure out how to change him into a moderator. And Rev is supposed to be a moderator too. So what is going on here? This evil sleeve of a thing we have. Because
Joe says you've been hacked.
Yeah, Joe. From what I hear, you've been hacking for the last week.
Joe, I hope you're feeling better. You've been
Joe, I hope if you're coming at me, I hope your energy's back up there, champ. You might want to rest a few more days. No, we hope you're feeling better, guys. I know you guys were having a rough go there for a minute. It's going around, dude. Everybody's been sick. Everybody's been sick.
Yeah.
You should just be able to long press. Let me try something real quick.
Go right ahead.
Where's E-Rev? Add as moderator. Okay, Rev, you are now a moderator. Dewey, I'm about to make you a moderator too. I guess I have to do it on the YouTube thing, not on the StreamYard thing. Add as moderator. Managing moderator. You are managing moderator, sir. Whoops. Nope.
Okay.
Pin. Okay, I pinned it. I did it all. We got Rev is now a moderator. Dewey is now a moderator, a managing moderator, and I pinned the StreamYard link. So there you go. Look at that. We're learning on the fly, everybody. That's how we do it here at Encrypted Connection. It's just a bunch of amateurs pretending to be professionals. So anyway, what was I going to say? Yeah. Octopus, what's going on, man? Salty, welcome. Buttons, hello, buttons. Oh, when I buttons makes me think of something from a long time ago that really kind of makes me sentimental. I'm not going to share that right now, though, but it does. So I like the name buttons. Sharon, how are you? Henry, what's up, dude? My boy Fresh, obviously. Welcome, sir. Miss K, Larry Hart, Sonia, hello. Octo, what's going on? Um, I think I got everybody. I think so. I think if I didn't, I apologize. My memory and my eyesight are just not as good as they used to be. I'm old. So so real quick, there's the link if anybody would like to join. If you have anything you'd like to share with us, some crazy experience you might have had, or some crazy story you may have heard, or anything like that. If you'd like to come talk, please click the link, and we'll bring you on for a little bit, and we'll try to give everybody a chance, or not everybody, but give people a chance to jump on. I like to do that every once in a while. It's fun. But real quick, so the trip to the corner, um, the trip to the corner was really fun. We had a great time. It's like one of those things that I've count myself very lucky and fortunate to have met these guys that I've become friends with, Alex and Mike Lucci and Brian Chewy and excuse me, and Evan and this whole group. They're just wonderful guys. They're all so smart, so great at what they do. Um, and we just have a great time. Everybody brings something different to the table, and that's I think why we work so well together. And so we go up there. Our whole plan was to drive. Had to stay in Great Barrington, Massachusetts, which is kind of like maybe 20 minutes over the border from Connecticut. Excuse me, because the only way into that corner of Connecticut, that very northwestern corner that touches New York and Massachusetts, is from Great Barrington. There's only one road that goes through that corner, just one. There are no houses over there. There are no businesses. It is just woods and mountains. That's it. And this one road runs through that whole northwestern corner. And that road, we get to the road and we're driving. We pass by Mount Frisell, we pass by Mount Washington, we come up to Bear Mountain, and then all of a sudden we hit a gate, and the gate was closed.
Oh no.
So the road was closed. We could not even go as far as we wanted, which was really, really disappointing. So, hey, Stitchwitch, how are you? So, um, we we had to make do. So basically, we got out. We look at the sign. The sign says no ATVs, no motorbikes, no motorized. I don't know. It was no AT. Oh, no snowmobiles. And it said you had you no trespassing, residents only. And we're like, residents only. There's no houses out here. Like, what does this mean? Residents only. And maybe it meant just for people on this side of the gate who live on that road back there. But past the gate, there's no houses. So we're like, who's really going to know? Right? Who's really going to know? Like, let's just go. We'll have to walk. We can't drive it because there's no way we were breaking that. We weren't breaking that lock. Not that it's something we didn't think about, but we didn't have the tools to do it. So we were like, screw it, let's just walk. Like, so we packed up our stuff and we walked that road, and we went up a ways, and then we dipped off into the woods. We found this little trail. It wasn't much of a trail, but it was a trail, and we dipped off in the woods and we hiked that for a while. And this was during the day, and so the area was very, very ominous. Like, the woods at night are creepy, period. It doesn't matter where you are, but during the day, when you get that feeling of like it was creepy and ominous during the day. It just had that feeling, and it was like, oh, it felt promising. And there were so many rhododendrons like in those woods that you couldn't see a foot into the woods beside you. Like they just went on forever. They were so thick, man. And it was like, we're not going to be able to see anything out here. Like if there could be 10 of these things standing 3 feet away from us, we'll never see them. And then finally those kind of broke up a little bit, and we were able to see a little deeper into the woods. And it just was a very creepy area. But so we go back at nothing crazy happened during the day. We go back at night, and it starts raining. And no, okay, so it didn't start raining. We go back at night, and it's the thickest fog I've ever seen in my life. And it just came out of nowhere. Like like we're driving, everything's fine, and then all of a sudden you get right there, and it's like thick as pea soup. It's so thick, and we're like, you got to be kidding me! Like this is nuts, man. So, when the fog, that condensation builds up on the leaves of the trees, and so what happens is the wind that comes through that valley there in between those 3 mountains, all that moisture starts falling from the leaves and the trees and hitting the leaf litter on the ground. So that screws up your audio, because all you hear is the stuff hitting the dead leaves on the ground. It sounds like stuff's walking all over the place. So the audio was kind of shot. Because the fog was so thick, the thermals didn't work really well. So the thermals were kind of shot. And like we just had, I mean, like we were up against it. It just did not want to work for us at all. And it made things difficult. It made things even more creepy. It made things scary, because you like you're listening, and your mind it's hard to discern. It starts to play tricks on you when you're constantly hearing this water hitting the ground and the leaves over and over and over and over and over and over. And it starts to mess with you, and you start to think like, am I hearing that, or am I hearing something moving? I swear I just heard something walking. And like, man, it was a mind tripping experience for sure. I'm not going to give away any more than that, but it was interesting. It's definitely an area that these things are in for sure. There's no doubt. Yeah, it is. Looking through looking through fog with a thermal is useless. Almost like looking through it. Yeah, through glass. Yep, absolutely. That's what I said. Yep, may as well. But looking through glass, can't. You're not getting any heat signatures at all. It just sucked. There's just one big white sheet is what you got. Like that's what you got. I did get some cool drone shots while we were out there during the day, though. Flying through the valley in between the mountains and stuff. That's a really cool image. But interesting area for sure. We got a long-term plan for that area, a very long-term plan. I got to get that long-term audio recorder built so that we can go put it out there. We're going to leave game cameras out there, and we're going to go back, multiple times a year and study that Appalachian Trail corridor up there and see what we can find. But so that's the plan. That's the plan. I need to get a thermal badly myself. I need one terribly. The difference it makes when you're doing those investigations at night, though, is just it's amazing. Like when it works, it's amazing. I'll tell you what, though, that spotlight that I have, holy mother, that thing is incredible. I used that thing all goddamn night, and it was remarkable. So I started with the red filter because that's what everybody uses, the red. They say it's better. The animals don't get as creeped out or whatever. When I took the red off and I used the white, obviously it lights up the fog and the moisture. So it kind of makes it almost harder to see. When I put that green filter on, it was as if there was no fog at all. That green filter cut directly through all of that fog. I mean, we could see like 100 yards further with that green filter on. I don't know why, but it was like wearing the strongest set of night vision goggles you ever saw in your life. I mean, that thing was insanely bright.
Man,
yeah.
Like...
Well, that's a not to not to toot my horn or anything. Your 300,000 lumen flashlight is nice, but this is a million.
Yeah. But will it fry an egg?
I bet you it could. I bet you it could.
It probably would.
I'm telling you, it almost fried my eyes. But yeah, it was amazing, man. That thing works so good. I loved using that the whole night. It was awesome. It was really the best tool we had, I think, at that point, because everything else just didn't work. And so, that we got to at least shine into the woods, and it would go. I mean, this thing shined deep in those woods, man, deep in those woods. And at one point, when I was looking back on the footage, there's a weird there's a spot where I hit this tree with that green light, and it looks as if there's something sticking out from the side of the tree. And then when I scan back, it looks like it's gone. Now, could be a trick of the eyes. I don't know, but that's what it looks like. We'll have to see. The video will be out probably tomorrow. So you guys can tell me about that spot.
Yeah.
Who is Keflavik? Keflavik missed out on that trip. Who's Keflavik? Anybody? Henry, who's Keflavik? I'm very confused.
It's a new one on me.
Yeah. I'm very confused. So anyway, that was that trip. It was fun. We're gonna go back. We're gonna do a lot more there, I think. It makes it's easy because it's not that far from any of us. It's 3 hours from Alex, 2 hours from me, 2 hours and 10 minutes from Lucci. I think it's like 2 hours and 20 minutes from Brian. It's not a bad trip, and it's such a major. There's so much history up there. Before the term Bigfoot was coined, there were reports of hairy men, wild men, and they all came from the east before anywhere else. They came from the northeast. And this is where like one of the places they started in. So I wanted to get up there and do something about that, because not many people have covered that. And so we plan on doing a full-length documentary and filming it in bits over the next year. And so that, I think that'll be really cool, giving all the history of the old wild man encounters and that kind of stuff. And then in the more modern stuff, I'd like to get a hold of some people who've had encounters out there recently and maybe get to go meet them at their spots. Yeah, I think that'd be cool. I think that would be cool. So anyway, dude, what do you got going
on? Nothing much. I've been, like I said, working on getting my equipment all kind of organized. I put a link on the in the chat. This little well, hold it where you can see it. This little gizmo here. This is a dual USB feed through, panel mounted, and I put the link on the. Anyway, I put these in the back of my cases that I have electronics in.
So awesome.
Actually, plug everything in on the inside the case, and you just charge them from outside the case. So I had to take everything out of the case and plug individual cables into them with 4 or 5 dozen USB chargers. I can charge everything in that case by those two little. This one here is a dual port, and then the one I've got ordered for my game caller, it's only got one thing in it to charge. I ordered a single for it. It should be in tomorrow maybe, but I'm gonna try to get all my cases fixed up where I can charge everything, just plug it up and let it go, and then have to unpack everything and charge it and then pack it back up, So hopefully that's going to be a little project I got to work on.
That's all right. I mean,
I'd order some more cables and stuff. I suggest if you're going to do that, and it takes the C cables, use the 90-degree cables, where you can kind of work them in anyway. I'd have a big one sticking up, So
So do you now when you have that port in there, how, is it connected to like a battery bank that you
Uh,
charge?
what I'll do is I'll in the back of it. Get back over here again. In the back of it, I've got connections already made inside. Like I said, it's feed through. Like I said, it's the USB A on both ends. It's USB, a double-ended cable, and you plug one in inside it, and you can also put a splitter inside if you need to branch off to something else. But in that case, I've got the Phasm camera, the Ulanzi stick, the Phasm light, and one or two more things in that case. It's all plugged into all plugs in, so I can plug those two cables in and just charge the whole case. And with the charger being outside, I haven't picked up any heat. I let one of them charge overnight, and the next morning it was still just room temperature inside the case, so it didn't pick up any heat. So the heat would be in the charger itself, I would think.
Oh, that's freaking
But that's
awesome.
what I've been working on.
That's
I got some
amazing.
more parts ordered, and a few more. I've been tinkering around some more with my EMF fans. A few more little odds and ends here and there, but I haven't got too awful much done here in the last few days from kind of the bad weather and everything. But it's getting
Well,
there.
I'll tell you what, man,
I'm
that
going.
Apache case is great.
We're going to Martin Groves and I Friday are going to make a trip to Paris to meet with Rick Revel and Kevin Keel on their. He's doing a show on something about Bigfoot and Dogman, the LBL. He invited us to come down and sit in the studio and sit for a couple hours. So we're gonna make that little trip Friday morning. Probably make a run through the LBL while we're out and to see if they had any damage down that way. It did kind of skirt the edge of the LBL, so they may have got some more damage. I don't know.
May have
We're
stirred
gonna
up some
check that
dog
out.
men.
Yeah, the dog man.
May have stirred them up, that bad weather.
It could have.
There's some angry dog men down there right now.
Right. And on Saturday night, I'm on with Jimmy. I'm with Appalachian Tales of Terror. I'm on with him 8 o'clock Central Saturday night. And I got several more going on in January. So it's beginning to shape up a little anyway.
Well, that's good. And
my book out there.
And I saw you've been posting a bunch on your channel too.
Yeah, I've been doing that every day.
Yeah.
I kind of got away from I kind of broke it up. I'll do a couple of 3 paranormal things maybe one day, and then I'll jump back into the history side of it, do a few history articles, and I posted some of my early Christmas memories on there a few days ago, and like not got through them. I tell you, it was very, very emotional, very sentimental. I like not made it through it. In fact, I went through it twice before I ever got through with it. So
yeah, that's tough. Yeah,
I've been getting a lot of views on them. So
well, that's good, man. That's good. And yeah, I mean, obviously the holidays can be difficult. You start thinking about times you had with people who aren't here anymore, and the way things change and life changes. It sucks, man. It's difficult. Obviously it's a great time of year, but those things are really hard to deal with for anybody.
oh yeah, yeah.
So I get it.
Yeah.
Hope wants to know how close you are to North or South Carolina.
I'm about 4 hours away from the Smoky Mountains. So I'd say probably 5 hours, probably something like that.
Oh, probably a little too far to go look for this store. This store, it's
Well,
called Where You Been.
I go out there every once in a while. I haven't been out there, lately, but we usually try to go, but the winter time is not a real good time to be heading into the mountains.
Yeah, no, that's not a great.
We went there one time and actually got snowed in, and just luckily the snow kind of let up and we got out before we got snowed in. But
yeah, not a great time to head to the mountains, that's for sure. Why is it that they only have this store down there? Where you been? It's just Amazon returns. You can find anything there. That sounds like an amazing store. Why can they not? Why can't they put that store in more places? That sounds ridiculous that it's only in North or South Carolina.
It'd be a good store like you'd like to get locked into at night, you know it?
I would love to get locked into that store at night. You kidding me? I would, yeah. I'd be in trouble in the morning, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that little kid on Home Alone would have nothing on me.
No, God, no. No way. We'd have issues. E-Rev, you're back. You should be blue, man. You should be blue. I changed it. I moderated you. Well, they have it other places. Well, you said North and South Carolina, so I just assumed that's the only place they had it. This is where you need to be specifical. So, modding a live weather stream also. Nice. So tomorrow, I have entrusted the help of our good friends Brian and Chewy to return to the place that has given me both the best evidence that I have ever collected during doing this bigfooting thing, and the place that has caused me much anguish over the last 6 months. We are going back up to the property and to that forest that connects to the property. And if you've been following, you know what that property in that area has been like. I've gotten two trackways, two different size prints. We got that crazy audio of those terrifying screams, the grunt, the whistle, and then the really loud knocks. Something picked up the recorder, fiddled with it, and then left it on the ground. It took my the gifts that I left. Or something took them. I'm not claiming to know what it was, but something took them. I was bluff charged up there, and then I've gotten sick at least 4 times up there, which I fully believe is EMF stuff. That's what I think. It just makes sense. What I didn't even realize until just now, like today when I was like going over the map, is that this property is only like 4 or 5 miles from the Conjuring house.
Oh.
Yeah. I didn't even know that. I had no idea. No idea. It's literally maybe it's like 7 miles, but that's it at most. It is not far. And it shares all that land that the King Philip's War was fought on there. So who the hell knows what's going on there? Oh shoot! Hold on a minute, Henry, buddy. I'm sorry, man. I hope you feel better, buddy. Golly, that stinks, dude.
Yes, it does.
Oh man.
Yes, it does.
That stinks, man. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I hope it's your boy. Oh, okay. I'm sorry, man. I hope that they get this shit and they
hope
get
they got
it out. Yeah. I'll pray for you, brother. I'll definitely say a prayer for you. That's awful, man. I'm over here blabbing away about something silly, and it makes you feel, it's like you get on here and you do this stuff, and then you feel like, you remember how unimportant it is.
Exactly.
It's just like, you know, this is nothing. Like this is shit. It's like doesn't mean anything in the grand scheme of things.
Right. Exactly.
The only thing you can hope is that, like, when you're doing this stuff, is that it gives people a place to go and maybe just escape for an hour or so. You get their mind off of it. Get their mind off of everyday life and the stressors and all that stuff. You know, that's the best you can hope for. If at all, I say this and I mean it, if at all I can make anybody happy or smile or just forget about their stress for an hour, then I'm doing way more than I ever thought I would do with this channel. You know, so I hope we at least give you guys that once in a while. It's part, you know, that's part of why I've been pushing so hard to do more of these investigations too, as many as I possibly can. It's hard to do them all the time because, you know, it takes planning. The night investigations obviously take way more planning because you have to have more than one person. I will not do it alone. I just refuse to. It's just too dangerous.
Yeah, it's not safe to do it alone.
No shit, no, because it's like, you know, I use the I use the comparison. It's like, you know, you you may be going out looking for Bigfoot, but Bigfoot might not be there. Something else might be.
Yeah.
It's like going fishing for bass and pulling up a rainbow trout or pulling up a sunny. You know, you're going, huh?
An alligator.
Or the alligator or a boot. You know, you go and you're looking specifically for the bass, but that's not what you catch every time.
Right.
It may not be what you catch at all. And then instead you catch something else because something else was interested in what you were doing. And so you go out with an intention, but it doesn't mean that intention is going to be met. You got to be careful of what else might be out there looking at you going, what are they doing? Let's go see what they're doing. And then if you're by yourself, I think that for some of this stuff out there, I think that's the perfect opportunity for them. They wait for that. And they go, okay, we got one. He's by himself. He's as vulnerable as we can make these things. So let's go get him. I'm not putting myself in that position. I just refuse. I refuse. I will not be out there alone. So, you know, you got to plan this stuff. You got to get people together. You got to organize. And then, you know, travel and all that stuff. Like to do this trip, we had to stay in a hotel. What? That sounds weird. That's
Oh no.
That I don't know. I don't know how to. I don't know. I don't even know what to say right now. Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, you got to plan this stuff. You can't just go willy nilly. These daytime and stuff. Daytime investigations. I don't mind going alone. I mean, sometimes I do, but for the most part, I don't.
Yeah.
You know, when I go to this place up here, I don't know if I'll ever go back there alone again because it's just had so many crazy things happen and bad things, like the sickness stuff. It just makes no sense to me. You know, I get like feel incredibly sick, really ill, super confused, really weak. And then I get out of there, and within 30 minutes of leaving, I feel fine. So it's something going on with that place or that land or something that's there. I don't know what it is. I don't claim to have any idea, but it's something. And so, you know, I'm glad Brian and Chewy are coming with me. I'll be curious to see how Chewy responds to being out there tomorrow. You know, dogs obviously have such a better sense of things than we do.
Yeah. So what are you gifting them with? Peanut butter or?
So I've only done it twice, and the first time I did it was I gave them organic tobacco, some feathers, some like really nice like crystal stone things, and I think that was it the first time.
Joe said cocaine. So you're gonna get hooked on nicotine, huh?
Okay, nicotine and cocaine. Yep,
Yeah.
that's what we're going for. This time I'm bringing hookers. We're trying to create the most like savage Sasquatch clan you've ever seen in your life.
I've heard of people using jars of peanut butter,
Oh yeah.
And I just wonder if a man could take one of these little small, inexpensive little GPS locators, and maybe glue it to the bottom of the jar, maybe, and then if you go back and it's gone, you might be able to track it and see where it went.
Here's the thing, right? So this is what I said. Those Apple AirTags or whatever, the Apple
Yeah,
AirTags,
right. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So you have those. There's other ones that aren't Apple branded or whatever, and I said like maybe you give them like a stuffed animal or something. Leave a stuffed animal out there and put one of those things inside that stuffed animal, because they've been known to play with these things. Like I've heard multiple people say they've had stuffed animals show up on their property and like up in trees. And so I don't know if it's the young ones who do that or what, but it'd be worth a shot to see if you could then track where these things went. But yeah, the peanut butter jar is a very good idea. Stick it to the bottom of that thing and see what happens.
Has anybody seen the white rabbit in my background?
I do see that white rabbit. I love it. Thank you. That's amazing. I was getting sick and tired of seeing those silly Hellbent Holler shirts.
Oh,
yeah,
it's
those
because I hadn't got an encrypted connection shirt yet.
Neither do I. Neither do I.
Maybe it's something to look at making. Maybe.
Oh man, Bigfoot might see Kyle trekking through the woods with a jar of peanut butter and run like hell in the other direction. How would I feel if I was out at night looking for Bigfoot and some aliens found you out there instead? I'd be terrified. That's something I think about a lot. We were out there the other night, and one of the things we do when we go out in the woods is we find a place that's deep in the woods, off trail usually, and we just shut everything off, like everything, shut it down. No lights, no anything, and just sit there. And sitting in silence in the woods when it's pitch black is a it's a real test. It's a test in patience. It's a test in like your mental toughness, I think, because everything messes with you at that point. It's just overwhelming to your senses. It's like being in one of those deprivation tanks is what I would imagine, right? Is like it's pitch black and it was dead silent. I mean, dead silent. There wasn't a bird, there wasn't a squeak, there wasn't a mouse, there wasn't anything making noise. So your mind starts to like create noise where there's not any. And you start to go, I just heard someone talking. But then, there's no one talking. There's nobody out here. But when you're sitting there going through that, the thoughts that run through your head are just, they can go from, like normal to completely insane. Why a Prius full of dudes is going through the jars of peanut butter and cameras.
That's a good one. Oh man, that brings on a mental image I don't want.
Jeez. Oh man. Oh God. That's great. That's great. Yeah, all the cocaine's for the Sasquatch officer. It was bad enough. So we go out there, and Alex is from New Hampshire, Mike's from New York, I'm from Connecticut, right? I'm the only one who's got a gun that's legal to be there. And so like they're like I'm telling them, I'm like, just bring your stupid guns, man. Like Alex is, you're from New Hampshire. You could just say you're passing through. Like, what are the chances that anyone's going to find you out in the middle of the woods with a gun? Like, let's be real here. So just bring the stupid gun. So I'm not the only one. Plus, I only got a 9mm, so it's not going to do much. I need help. And not even thinking that, like, where we're going, I'm you walk 10 feet, and I'm in Massachusetts. So now I'm illegal. Like, so it didn't matter. So if a cop came and we're on this no trespassing land, and there I am with a Connecticut gun license, and I'm in Massachusetts, well, I could have gotten in deep shit. But
States don't have any kind of agreement between them as far as honoring the
let
other
me
one.
let me tell you
Carry
something.
permit.
No, certainly not Massachusetts. Massachusetts has the strictest gun laws, I think, in the United States. Some of them, or no, maybe it's New York.
I thought Illinois did, but
No, New York, California, Massachusetts, I think, are the top three. And Massachusetts is pining to make them even worse now.
wow.
Yeah, Mass is terrible. They're terrible for gun laws, man. Terrible.
We used to go.
Connecticut's not much better.
We used to go to Metropolis, to the casino, Illinois, and I got tired of having to tear my guns in a million pieces to transport them across the state line and bring them back. So we just quit going. We just quit going.
Right, right. They're like, I think if you are just passing through and you have your gun locked up, like if say I'm going from Connecticut to New Hampshire and I pass through Mass and I keep it locked up, it's okay, I think. But if you were to get caught, I mean, I had this thing on my hip, like, you know what I mean? So it was not like I was just
Yeah.
locked up passing through. I'm out in the middle of the woods with a fucking spotlight, by the way. So it's like, yeah, straight poacher. They're gonna be like,
Yeah,
yeah, all
exactly.
right, pal.
That'd get you in jail real quick in Tennessee.
Oh yeah, that would have been it, dude. Hey, Enki, welcome. Thank you for being here. Appreciate it.
Have
Yes,
you
that is
seen?
the Hellbent Holler.
Yeah, the Hellbent Holler.
Look at this. Look, we'll see what happens. They come on the show and they even take over this show. The people, the Hellbent Holler is in the chat right now. That should tell you something about my show. That the Hellbent Holler comes. I'm just kidding. I'm only kidding. Oh God, Joseph's obligated to do it now because we're friends.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Have you ever seen one of those what they call a potato cannon
Yes,
made out of
absolutely.
a
I
PVC
fired
pipe?
one.
Had to be to put an apple in one of them and use that to launch an apple out in the woods, toward the squatch.
There you go. That's not a bad idea.
Of course, the sound may run him off. Or you may
That's
hit
a
him and kill him with the apple. That would be bad.
pow. Yeah. Pistol mass. You must hide and keep ammo away from it. Pistol gets the biggest fines. Yeah. And then they're trying to do this. Those stupid things where you have to register every magazine. That's the new thing that they're trying to pass.
Really?
Yeah. How ridiculous is that? That's insanity. That's insanity. And they did that in some other places too. And I think the compliance rate was like 1%. People were like, yeah, right. We're not doing that. You're nuts.
Man.
No. Yeah. Register every magazine. So so it's like, you can only have 10 round magazines here for any gun, like pistol or rifle. That's the most you can have. So people just go, all right, screw it. I'll just buy 10 magazines then. and keep them fully loaded, right?
There you go.
And just quickly swap out my magazines if that's what I got to do. So now they're thinking like, okay, good, register every magazine. And people were just like, yeah, nope, not gonna happen. Sorry, not doing that. It's just ridiculous. It gets worse and worse, man. I said the other day, I was like, I'm going to buy as many guns as I can within the next 6 months to a year because I have this strange feeling that
Right.
sooner or
Yeah.
later they're going to try to make it so you can't buy them anymore.
Yep. You're right.
And then try to take my guns from me. I dare you.
I've got one of those little high point 995 carbine rifles, 9mm.
Yeah.
And I've got several mags for it. I've got a 30 round mag for it that hangs out like a foot and a half out of the gun.
Yeah.
It's
That's
a single
good.
stack,
That's good though. Are you allowed to have them down there, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
see.
most of my magazines are 16. I've got a few that's 10, maybe a couple of 12s, but most of mine are 16 round.
Yeah, it's just ridiculous, man. I understand to a certain degree, like after that whole thing in LA where the guys had body armor and all that stuff, and they basically just like they outgunned the cops and all that. That changed a lot of things. They got nervous and they were like, "Holy shit! If this ever happened again, I'd be screwed." So, but they went too far. Like if why don't they just upgrade what the cops have instead of trying to take away our rights as
Right.
American citizens? So to most guns by default, the pistols are 15. Carry 15 bullets in the clip. So I mean, it's ridiculous to now you're giving us these little baby clips. It's just nuts. So the plan, they want people to return all the weapons that you can't protect yourself when shit happens. Yeah, here's what
Yeah.
I think. I think that they want everyone to they want to get us to a point where we don't have the ability to stand up and say enough's enough.
Yeah,
Where we
exactly.
can
Yeah.
where we can fully be victims and they can do whatever they want with us instead of saying instead of people coming together and going, we've had enough of the bullshit. You guys are no longer taking care of us and the way that you should be, and so either change it or we're going to overthrow the government. And that's a real possibility with the way that things continue to
Oh
go.
yeah, yeah.
There he
Yes,
is.
it
That's
is.
my guy right there. Alex is in the chat. You want to talk about gun laws and stuff? That's your guy. You talk to him.
Hello, Alex.
Yep, you talk to him. You want to talk about gun laws or geopolitics? That's the man to go to. Or any Bigfoot sighting, encounter, or rumor from the New England area. Any. He knows every one of them.
As far as I know, Tennessee has agreements with at least all the border states. As far as
Yeah.
being able to honor your permit and everything. But always check and make sure.
Yeah. Yeah. Or just say fuck it.
Or just exactly. Yeah. Put it in a lock case in the back of the car and say, go get a search warrant.
That's right. Get your dog. Get your little puppy out here. Come here, puppy, puppy, puppy.
I might rephrase that. I used to have a lot of 16 round magazines. Used to have a lot of guns, but we were canoeing on the Buffalo River back a couple of years ago, and I had all my guns with me, and the canoe flipped over with me, and I lost them all in the bottom of the river. So
No, you
that's
didn't.
my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Oh. There you go.
In case anybody's listening,
There you go. I think we got a visitor. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Oh, that's weird.
It is weird.
It doesn't even put it doesn't even put the thing up. Usually it puts like the little box up. It doesn't even put the thing up with the little circle in it. Like normally it puts that box up where it shows where it says hope. It didn't even do that. Why didn't it do that?
You might have that disabled, so you can't see. You can only see people who have their cameras on.
Oh, maybe. All right. Well, Hope's here, ladies and gentlemen.
I hope.
In
I'm
spirit.
the voice in the background.
she's here in spirit.
Voice of wisdom.
Horrible boating accident. Yeah, that's great, man. And maybe I should say the same thing. Yeah, I don't have any guns. They all fell out of a boat somewhere. That's funny. So yeah, it's unfortunate that they continue to do this, try to take away more rights and a country that was built on freedom. That's just not where it is now. What is that? It's one of those things where you think that you're protected and you're safe from these things, and then the older you get, the more you realize that that's just not the case.
Right.
That's the illusion that they give you, but the truth is that they'll take away everything and anything they can. And you're right, Sonia. It is all part of a bigger plan. That's Alex was talking about the other day about how these sick fucks in Ukraine and Russia, the Russians were chasing down one of these Ukraine soldiers with one of their big drones and just toying with this guy, like a drone that's got machine guns on it or whatever, and it's chasing this guy for like the longest time, just toying with him, and this guy's trying so hard to get away, and knowing that at any moment this thing could just fire on him and kill him, and he's like gets exhausted and can't go anymore, and then finally that's it, it's over, which is just a sick twisted thing to do.
Yes.
But that essentially could be it was the other way around. Both sides are doing it though. FPV drones equipped with explosives. Okay, so there you go. But yeah, I mean, essentially that could be what we're heading to at some point. If they wanted to, if we became prisoners of the country, of the government, which is possible. We're heading that way more and more. But anyway, yo, Tristan, what's up, dude? Haven't seen you in a long time. Matter of fact, I literally was just talking about you the other day. Like 3 days ago, I think I was talking about you. And we still never got you back on the show for a second time. We need to do that, man. We need to do that. I just mentioned you to Alex the other day, and I was talking about you with somebody else too. Talk about some crazy audio. Tristan's got some of the craziest audio I've ever heard. Crazy. And then that video too from the plot camera, really good, really interesting. We definitely need to get you back on the show. I haven't seen you, man. I hope you're doing well. I legit got visited by the FBI for ordering multiple Unabomber t-shirts from an online extremist. What? Is that true?
Wow.
It's Joe, Enki. It's Joe. Jesse doesn't come here. Just Joe does, so he can bust balls. You got visited by the FBI for ordering multiple Unabomber t-shirts from an online extremist. Is that real? Why were you ordering Unabomber t-shirts from an online extremist? That would raise some red flags for sure.
Oh yeah, definitely. Wow.
Oh, damn, Kaiju. I hope you feel better, dude. I hope you feel better, man. Yeah, that's true, Alex. God forbid.
Yeah, this flu going around must be bad this year. I mean, I've heard a lot of people had it and just zaps your energy.
It does. It's been bad. The people I know who've gotten sick have gotten really sick, and they've just like it knocks them out. I mean, I got sick right after Thanksgiving, and it hit like it hit me out of nowhere. I had I had a pretty high fever. I think the highest was like 103 point something. And then it kind of settled every day around 102.5 is what it settled at every day. But I was exhausted. I mean, like it just wiped me out, man. I had no energy. Yeah, no energy whatsoever. And you were sick right before Thanksgiving, correct, Hope?
I was sick right before Thanksgiving through Thanksgiving, and it just wiped me out. And it was, my eyes have never watered that much, and my eyes are still recovering because of skin. It's gross. That's why I don't have my camera on.
That sucks, man. It's not fun. It's definitely bad this year. Let's see. Salty says also if you buy oil filters in bulk, you'll get a visit from the FBI. Why is that? Oil filters in bulk.
Make silencers out of them.
Oh, yes, that's right. I forgot about that.
Or suppressors, noise suppressors. I won't say silencers, but noise suppressors.
That's funny. That's funny. Oh man, this is crazy.
A 2-liter Coke bottle will work one time on a 22.
A Coke bottle?
Yeah,
2-liter I was just Coke saying because we're talking about them.
What's that?
Since we were talking about the FBI that they're watching, so hi FBI.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure they are. Once you start mentioning them, you immediately go to that code word list. It's like, saying bomb and airplane in the same sentence, even if it has nothing to do with actually a bomb on an airplane. Like you immediately register with some computer server in Washington D.C. in like the CIA or NSA, and they're like, oh shit. That Connolly kid, that one, that scumbag, he said bomb and airplane in the same sentence. Go kick the door down.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Well, have you noticed you can mention something at home and you'll start seeing commercials about it or
of course.
Advertisements about it? Oh. We tried a little experiment a while back. Of course, we don't have a dog anymore. But we just got it made up, hey, let's go in here and let's just talk about dog food, and see what pops up, Sure enough, we must start talking. They were showing dog food commercials on TV, and they're popping up on my phone, and the computer. And I thought, yeah, they're listening, all right.
They definitely listen because every time I say anything, I get like commercials on my phone for it. Everything.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is. Dude, as a matter of fact, when we were out there on Saturday, it's the weirdest thing. Alex, did you ever find out? Because I didn't see anything, but it was strange. When we went out during the day, all of a sudden, and remember, we're in the middle of like nowhere. We're in the furthest corner of Connecticut, in the middle of nowhere. We're just surrounded by mountains and valleys at that point. We hear sirens from off in the distance, and when you're in those valleys, the sound kind of reverberates and echoes, so you can hear it from a distance. We hear sirens, and they're going on for probably an hour. Like we just continue to hear them way off in the distance. Then all of a sudden, we hear machine gun fire. Then this helicopter comes flying over real low to that same area. We continue to hear gunfire. We continue to hear sirens. I'm like, what in the hell is going on? It sounded like a war was breaking out. I never did find out what the hell was going on. But if it was a like National Guard training exercise or something, there wouldn't be sirens.
I wouldn't think so.
No. There wouldn't be sirens. Yeah, it was the craziest thing, man. It sounded like there was some kind of, I for sure thought they probably raided some kind of crazy, like, white supremacist camp in the hills, some crazy, like, extremists and who were cooking meth or something. And then they just got into a firefight. That's what I kept picturing in my head. And then I'm thinking to myself, like, oh, great. So now these extremist white supremacist meth junkies are probably going to run through the woods with their guns, and we're out here right now. So this is probably not going to end well. This is probably going to end bad.
Well,
you have any moonshiners up at far north?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe.
Something else you got to watch out for too.
Yeah, meth and moonshine. That's right. What were you going to say, Hope?
I just saw this ad on Twitter of a new movie, and it was shot in the woods, and it's about Civil War, like in the United States, but it's coming out next year, but it's shot in the woods, and there's gunfights and all that sort of stuff. So maybe they were filming something.
Oh, that's possible. That's definitely possible. But I mean, the helicopter kind of made me a little weirded out. I guess helicopters can be in movies. I just feel like it was like, I don't know. It was all very random. All very random. But it went on for a while, man. It went on for a while. We should have flown the drone that way. Is what we should have done.
There you go. We're in the flight path from Fort Campbell, my house, and we have these big choppers fly over just 3 or 4 times a day, and sometimes they'll jar the windows out of the house. Sometimes very loud.
Yeah, wow, that's pretty loud. Yeah, it was crazy. We never found out what it was, huh? Yeah, that sucks. I don't know what was going on, but it was strange. When you're out in the woods and you're out in the mountains like that, who the hell knows? They could be doing something that'll never hit the news. It could be something they were taking down, and they're just like, nope, this ain't getting out. We ain't telling nobody about this.
Probably the aliens escaped, so they were going after them.
That was what I thought. Oh, matter of fact, I got to back up because Enki asked a question and I forgot to answer it. It was about dogmen and stuff. Let me go back and find that question. Because I do want to make sure that I answer that. That was quite a ways back. But do you think, oh, there we go, wrong. I think all dogmen are flesh or supernatural. I feel it could be both. I think all supernatural is physics and/or technology not yet understood by humans. I don't think dogmen, if they're real, are flesh and blood at all. I think they've got to be some kind of supernatural, paranormal entity. I don't think that they're like a regular flesh and blood animal creature type of thing. There's something else going on there, at least in my mind.
If this story is true, where these dogmen attacked these dogs down in Bumpus Mills last year, they supposedly shot it, and then these, I guess they were government contractors, came in and dispatched. It was wounded, and they come in and dispatched it in the woods. So they fired about 6 shots, and then come dragging it back to the truck. If that's a true story, they must be flesh and blood, or at least able to be, to be killed with a weapon. But I don't know. I don't know if the story is even true or not. But don't really know. I wasn't there. I can't testify one way or another. So I don't know. But I'm thinking it may be kind of a mixture of both. Maybe I don't know. It's
who the hell knows? It's no one knows anything about this shit. It's all
exactly, yeah.
It's all a question. There's no answers. And beware of the people who tell you that they have the answers. Those folks who swear that they know more than everybody else. Those are the ones to watch out for. If somebody is out there professing to be an expert or have some kind of special ability to be able to communicate with these things on a regular basis, and that they know the secrets and stuff. Be very, very cautious of those folks, because nobody does. If we did, don't you think it would be those answers would be found by like the greatest researchers and minds in the world, not by some guy who smokes 3 packs of cigarettes a day and downs a half a jug of vodka, sits at his keyboard, swears he's special forces, and and was on a supposed clandestine dogman attack team. That I don't think that guy's going to have the answers, even though those are the types of people who claim they do. We all know what happened there.
I feel like that's very oddly specific.
It is very oddly specific. I'll even say who it's about. He got busted for what is it, stolen valor, as he should have, scumbag. That's such a terrible thing to like. That's another thing. Here we go. Like this is one thing that people buy into so much. You hear people in this community, and they say things like, I was with a certain group of soldiers, and we were part of a team that was commissioned by the government off the books to go after dogmen, or to go after the rake, or to go round up Bigfoots with solar powered lights and New Kids on the Block songs played backwards, and that was what brought Bigfoot down, was NSYNC and New Kids on the Block songs played backwards, and only we know that because it was part of the group I was in. Any of these guys who claim to be part of some like super group of super soldiers, and they're out here talking about it and how they can take people down with their pinky fingers, they're full of shit. Just know that the real guys who are out there doing like crazy stuff, they're not talking about it because they can't talk about it. They can't. Navy SEALs and Special Forces, Black Ops, Green Berets, MARSOC. These guys get sent to the baddest of bad places in small teams to take out the worst of the worst, and most of their missions are classified, and they're classified for years after the missions are over for reasons, right? It's so that they don't give away any of the tactics that were used to take down these people. They're not out here bragging about this shit. So if you come into this community and you knew this community and you hear people out there claiming this stuff, just run the other way. Yeah. Just run the other way, please. Save yourself. Just save yourself the time. It's ridiculous. Yeah, exactly, Henry. Full of it. Absolutely full of it.
Yeah.
I mean, this guy who was doing this and was grifting off this community. What kills me too is that he had how many followers did he have? I think he had like 20,000 some odd followers.
Something like that.
Some shit.
Is this the guy that lived in his parents' basement in Chicago or something like that?
Did he? Did he really? He probably did.
Probably did, yeah.
He probably did. He probably lives in his parents' basement, ate freezer burned Hot Pockets all day, and I mean, that's just what I imagine. He probably had burn holes in his sweatpants that he wore every day. I'm sorry. I can't, like, I try to keep my mouth shut when it comes to this stuff because it's not what I'm about, but it just gets me aggravated because there's people out here who are trying to do good work in this community. And one of the things that I think subscribers and people who watch this stuff need to understand is that the reality of this shit is most of the time it's pretty boring.
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. Bigfooting, especially for people to watch, is pretty boring. What it consists of is going out into the woods, walking around, hoping something happens, and then at night it consists of going out, walking around, sitting there very quietly, using your gear that you have, your thermals, your night visions, all that stuff, and more hoping that something happens. And more often than not, it doesn't. So whenever you have people go out and claim that they're going out, and every time they go out, they're getting some kind of activity, I'm telling you that that's not how this works. It just isn't. If these things were were that willing to just be seen all the time, then they wouldn't be what they are. I mean, we would know way more about them at this point.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know. So for that guy especially, he was 5 foot nothing, smoked 3 packs a day. I don't know, probably drank half a gallon of vodka and 4 gallons of ice cream, and claimed he was a super soldier. Like, get the out of here! Come on, super soldier. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Unfortunately, this is what you get sometimes in this community. And then you got people who swear they can like mind speak with them. And not that I'm saying mind speaking isn't real. I don't know. It might be. There may be something to that, but these people who claim they can mind speak, but then they can't give you the simplest answers. If you can mind speak to these things, why don't you ask them the answers everybody wants to know, right? How long do you live? How big are your babies when they're born? Are you immune to disease? Do you have names? Do you have birthdays? Do you celebrate Christmas? The stuff everyone wants to know. Isn't that what everyone wants to know about Bigfoot? Do they celebrate Christmas? Do they have
put up a tree?
Yeah, right. Do they put up a tree? No, they rip trees down. But it's like these people claim they can do this, but they can't give you these simple answers, like the stuff that we need to, like, what do you do with your bodies when one of you dies? Like, just tell us. You don't have to tell us where they are. Just tell us what happens to them, because we can't find them. How big are your babies when they're born? Because you guys are pretty big, so we'd like to know, are they human size, and do they just grow fast? Or does a baby come out at like 3 feet long, weighing, upwards of 60 pounds? Like, what's the deal there? I don't know. Do they know their car's extended warranty is about to expire?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Oh, man.
Yes, Anki, you're right. It's like policing. 99% boring, 1%, oh, shit, I'm about to die. That's absolutely right. Absolutely right. Even when it's boring, that you still get that thought in your head, like, tonight, it might be the night that I die. When you're sitting in those woods, it's dark, it's scary. You still get that thought, like, this could be the night. This might be the night that I don't make it out of here. I think with time it gets easier, like anything, but it's still there. It's like, these things are massive. They're huge. They're monstrous. They're tall. They're muscular. They're stronger than, they're probably stronger than 100 of us put together. That'd be my guess. I mean, you hear stories about them lifting cars up and like with ease. That's not an easy feat. They're ripping trees. Hey, who saw the newest hoax? I'm sure you guys all have seen it by now. The new Sonny Vader hoax with the Bigfoot that was at the crime scene and lifted up the tree.
No.
And then slammed the tree down. Crash. No, you didn't see that?
Mm-mm.
Oh God, I can't post it here because I'll get copyrighted probably. I'm sure he's copyrighted it by now, but I'll see if I can link the video. This guy's hoaxed a million times, and every time he uses the same gosh darn suit. It's like, bro, are you stupid? You think people are this idiotic that they don't realize that it's the same suit you've done in every flipping video? Every video. It's not even a good suit. Like, maybe from like the shoulders down, it's good, but from the shoulders up, it looks like this thing's got like this like crazy, weird mop of hair. Like, it's just strange, man. It's just strange. Where is that video? Where is it? All I'm looking at right now is Dewey's pictures that he sent me of all these ghosts and pictures, which are terrifying, by the way. They're terrifying.
Do you say ghost or goats?
Ghosts. Goats.
Let's finish those ones yet. Okay.
Yes, goats. Yes,
No,
Dewey likes to send me pictures of goats.
I mean, I would like that. I love goats.
Yeah, that's a little strange.
yeah. I just talking about our soldiers. I have the utmost respect for our armed forces,
Amen.
and especially the guys that fought in the Vietnam War.
Amen.
Vietnam. I will not. If I see a guy that's got the Vietnam shirt on, the cap on, I'll go up to him and shake his hand, welcome him home. Thank him for his service. And if we're in a restaurant or somewhere, I'm gonna buy his meal. So it's just a habit of mine, and I'm gonna keep doing it.
Yeah, amen.
That's awesome, dude.
I think it's amazing. These guys, it takes a special kind of person to volunteer your life like that, right?
Right.
I lost a friend of mine in the war. He volunteered to go over. He went over, did his tour, came back. Mind you, he had a new wife, 3 young kids. One of them was a baby, and he volunteered to go back for a second tour. And he said, this is his reasoning. He said, because I have brothers and sisters that are still over there, and if he would protect his brothers and sisters here with his life. He said, I feel like I have to do that for them, and I can't abandon them. And so he went back over, and literally 2 weeks before he was supposed to come home, they were on a medical supply mission to resupply some medical stuff in one of these villages, and they ran over an IED, and it blew up through the bottom of the Humvee, and he was in a German hospital on life support, and the guys showed up at his house, in their suits at the front door, which that's not ever good.
Right.
And had to tell his wife that he was on life support in this German hospital, and that was the only thing keeping him alive. And what should we do? And they tried to let him live and see if he was going to get any better, and the doctors just told her, no, he's not going to get any better. This is it. Like this is the only way he's surviving. So they had to pull the plug and then bring it back over here. And here's the real kick in the balls.
Oh man.
Because he wanted to be buried with his family in the local cemetery, and did not want to be buried in what's that cemetery for soldiers who got killed in the line of duty?
Arlington.
They were not going to pay for the funeral.
Ugh.
Wow.
Yeah. Yep. They were not going to pay for the funeral, which I had never heard of in my life, but they gave them all kinds of shit about it. I think it was because they wanted, I think in that time, things were so bad with the war that, we were losing a lot of people, and that war turned into such a shit show that I think they wanted the publicity of doing this big, special funeral at this special cemetery for fallen soldiers, and to make the government and the U.S. military look good, and they weren't getting their wish. So, yeah, it was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, and here's the other thing, he was not a career soldier. He was young, and so he had only been in, I don't know, 8 years, 7 years, something like that. His wife didn't get enough money from his death to pay off the house or anything, so she ended up losing it. I think if you volunteer to go fight for our country and our freedoms, and you are in active duty in some kind of conflict zone where you could potentially die, I think at that point the government very least, should make sure that for the rest of your life you don't have to worry about a home.
Right.
Your home should be paid for in full, and and that's that. I think they should do a lot more for them, but that's just bottom line. That's where it should start. But that's just me.
Have you ever been to the Vietnam Wall?
I have not. Wait, Vietnam Wall? Where's that?
It's what, Washington?
No, I've not been there.
It's right beside the Lincoln Memorial.
Right,
It's
right.
on the north side of the mall.
We had one that came through. It came to Nashville one time. What they call the moving wall. It's a smaller version of it, but they can actually, bring it and set it up, And that was the most emotional experience I ever had in my life. I cried the whole time I was there. I couldn't help it. It just, it just tore me up, Then we had one that had it in Springfield at one of the cemeteries several years ago, and it was the same way. I just, seeing a lot of my friends' names up there, just very emotional, very emotional. Too many lives lost,
It's terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Back in 2003, I think it was. I had a leadership conference in Washington, D.C. between my junior and senior year of high school, and I was able to be one of the people who laid the wreath at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier in Arlington. That was amazing. I'll never forget that experience.
Yeah, that's I'm sure that's pretty friggin' moving. I mean, it's like it's like you said, Dewey. Any of these soldiers that I see with these, Korean War vets, Vietnam vets, you just feel this sense of like, man, these guys are true heroes.
Yeah, yeah.
What they had to go through in that war in Vietnam was just, I mean, you talk about nightmare fuel.
Oh yeah.
Oh God. And to come home to people who hated your guts. There were as many people here in this country who wanted them dead as there were over there.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just awful. Just awful.
They say one of the differences one of the main differences with people coming back is with World War II, like you came over, you left the shores of Europe or Asia on a boat with your fellow Marines or whoever, and you were able to process it together. And so you grieved together, you went through things together on the ship ride home. With Vietnam War, you're on a plane ride and then you're home, and you don't get to process it the way that you should.
I mean, I still think even if they took a boat ride, it wouldn't be able to process all the shit that happened over there. It was just a different war. It was so much more unconventional and violent, and yeah, it was just terrible. And that was what was bad about this war. This was not a conventional war where it was front line to front line. You're hunkered down. You're firing guns. No, it was dirty warfare is what they used. Just dirty warfare. You never knew where it was coming from. That was every soldier that I worked with when I worked at that rehab for soldiers in Stonington. All of them said the same thing. The worst part about it is that you never knew what side it was coming from. We could have intel that we're going straight on into this village and we're going to come head to head with the enemy. And next thing you know, they're showing up from behind us, or they're leaving a baby in the street as a decoy to get our attention. And they bum rush us from behind, and just the terrible things they had to do while they were there to try to keep themselves safe. Oh God, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, you never know what you're going to go into over there. I mean, they just take a bamboo stick and stick it in the ground, put some monkey crap or something on it, and you step on it and you're die of infection, you know, stuff like that. It was some
Oh,
weird warfare.
Yep. Yep. Well, listen, guys, I don't mean to bail, but I'm cat sitting for the
No.
elderly lady across the road for the next like 3 weeks while she's away. So I got to get over there and feed the cat and hang out with the cat. She's like a 16-year-old Persian. She's a sweet little girl. I'll show you guys at some point. She's the sweetest little thing, but she's old. And so I got to get over there and feed her, make sure she's taken care of. And I'm going to spend the night over there with her tonight. I'll probably end up staying over there most of the time at night with her just so she's got somebody because, like I said, she is pretty old. And yeah, so that's what I'll be doing. But I'm surprised nobody else jumped on. Nobody ever does.
I know.
It's like you leave. I would assume like you leave a link in the chat for people to just hop on the show with you and have a good time. I always assume like there's going to be like 3 or 4 people who hop on, and I always get like nobody.
Well,
it's always the
you don't
same.
even have to show your face.
You don't even have to show your face. No. It's always the same like couple people who do. It's Hope, it's Salty. I think that's it, actually. Hope and Salty. Yeah. That's about it. Which cool. Hey, that's cool, but you're all welcome. Next time, please don't be afraid. Hop on.
They don't bite.
We don't bite. No, we don't. I don't have the teeth to bite anymore. These are all.
I have peanut butter in my back pocket though, just in case.
These are all not my teeth. They're not my teeth. I don't know whose they are, but they're not mine. No, I'm just kidding. They are.
Just ones that you found on the ground.
I just found them on the ground randomly. I just drove from dentist office to dentist office and took every tooth that they pulled out throughout the day. I just gathered them up over the course of like 3 weeks and was like, oh, we'll just use these. Yeah. So yeah, these can be anyone's teeth.
Speaking of which,
oh boy,
I read a story the other day. It's kind of funny. This guy killed a deer, and he took his teeth and made him some dentures out of this deer's teeth.
No, he did not.
Yeah, then he ate the deer with its own teeth.
Where is this at?
I'll have to find it. I'll find it and post a link with it.
Oh gosh.
Guaranteed it's down south somewhere.
Probably Alabama.
Evidently.
I guarantee it's down south somewhere.
See, Tennessee is where the toothbrush was invented at.
Yeah, I know, because if it was invented anywhere else, it would be called the teeth brush.
Exactly. Henry, if you're still on here, we got you in our prayers, you and your son. So
that's right. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, we do. That's what we do. We sure do, buddy. We sure do. All right. Well, let's get out of here. I got to go take care of this cat, and then I got to get up in the morning a little earlier so that I can meet Brian at the spot out there. And wish us luck. I'm pretty confident that we'll get something because it's usually this place is pretty. It's weird. It's just a weird place, and it's been pretty active. This is one of those things where like it's strange because I just got finished saying like, oh, if people go out and every time they go out they say there's something happen and they're full of shit. I have not had something happen every time I've gone out there, but I can say that I've had stuff happen probably 50% of the time I've gone there, which is a lot. It's a very, very, I think it's like one of those things. It's like the perfect storm. I think these things live there in an area that's not, it's relatively small, I guess you could say. It's not like some of these spaces out in New Hampshire where it's like millions of acres that they can travel. Like, they've got like 16,000 acres of forest, which is a big area, but not when compared to other places. And so I think that, they live there, they stay there, and they've kind of gotten used to the people who live there. And because of that, they get curious and they they don't show themselves, but they do things, that let you know they're around. It's interesting. We'll see. I think there might be something else going on there too, especially since I figured out that it shares the same land with the Conjuring House. That makes me a little nervous, but anyway, we'll see. See what happens. Anyway, anyone got to plug anything? Anyone got, Dewey, you doing any upcoming shows or any amateur stripping nights?
Well, I was trying to put a pole up in my garage, but I decided I wouldn't do that. But anyway, yeah, I'm on like I said, Appalachian Tales of Terror with Jimmy B. Saturday night at 8 Central. And Martin and I are going to Paris Friday, and we're going to be on the Paris Paranormal, and there with Rick Revel. He's also known as Mr. History. And
okay,
it'll be a good time there too. So it's about a 2-hour interview, so it'll be a good one. So,
well, send me those links.
I'll be all called up. I think I'll do that. Yeah, when I get them out, and I'm gonna go probably one day this week. Go to the History Center in Franklin, Kentucky, and get lined up for a book signing the first week in January. So my book should be in any day, but they haven't arrived yet. So
sounds good, man.
That's exciting.
Yeah, that sounds good. That's awesome.
I'll go good. I hope.
Well, when you get them links, you send them to me, and I'll post them on my channel and on the Facebook group. Man, we'll try to get you some more people out there. Hope, you got anything going on?
No, I'm not feeling creative anymore.
Okay.
Last week I just used up all my creative stuff.
All right. Well, Hope's not feeling creative anymore. So if you were expecting something from Hope, too bad. So anyway, tomorrow, watch out. I will be trying to go live at some points from out there in the woods with Brian and Chewy, and hopefully we'll get some stuff. I think at very least we'll find some evidence of them. Whether that means like tree structures or whatever. Usually there's something going on to let us know that they've been there. So keep your eyes peeled, please. If you have not yet, hit the notification bell so you know when the shows come on. When we do the investigations. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe, and then please hit the like button. Please, it means so much to the show and getting this show out into the algorithm so more people can see it and it can grow and we can do bigger and better things with it. So thank you all for that. Anyway, thank you for everything, all your support. Hope you have a wonderful night, guys, and I will catch you on the next one, probably this weekend sometime. Have a good night.
That's good. Good night, everybody.
Later, taters.
Later, tater.